For your money this morning, there is nothing more frustrating than getting an alert that says your card is declined. Actually, there is. Finding out that alert is part of a scam.
If you use a debit card, this warning is for you. There's a scam sweeping across multiple countries right now, and it's catching people off guard and flushing their money. It doesn't rely on hacking your apps or guessing your password. It uses your trust against you. This isn't a system glitch. It's a deliberate, targeted operation. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to avoid it. Think this is just an online scare story? Authorities have confirmed numerous real victims. Terry, a UK resident, thought he was talking to his bank when he received a call. The number on his screen matched the one on the back of his card. The text showed up in the same message thread as his previous real banking alerts. The call had the same hold music he'd heard before. Within minutes, thousands of pounds disappeared from multiple accounts. It all seemed so real, he later said. Terry's case isn't isolated. UK officials have reported a surge in fake freeze call scams, warning that criminals are exploiting number spoofing to impersonate banks more convincingly than ever. In the US, the Federal Trade Commission has documented a wave of similar phone-based frauds, where victims are told their debit card is frozen and must be secured through a series of instructions that secretly hand control over to scammers. The FBI's Internet Crime Complaint Center has flagged the same pattern in multiple states. Europol has warned about cross-border spoofing rings operating across the EU. One FTC case involved an elderly woman in Florida who received what looked like a fraud alert call from her bank. The caller ID matched. She pressed one to speak with an agent. Over the next 40 minutes, following what she thought were security steps, she lost her entire checking balance to con men. In another case in Germany, Europol investigators traced dozens of spoofed bank numbers to a single call center in Eastern Europe, targeting debit card users across borders. The invisible part is what makes this scam so dangerous. The moment your phone rings, everything seems legitimate, and that's exactly how the trap is set. Imagine this. You're making dinner, your phone rings. On the screen is the name of your bank. The exact number you trust is staring back at you. A calm, automated voice says your debit card has been frozen due to suspicious activity. To secure your account, it tells you to press 1 to speak to security. You don't want your card blocked, you don't want fraudulent charges. So, you press the button. Within seconds, a bank agent answers. They know your name, they know your address. Not only that, but they mention a recent online purchase you made, maybe even a small pizza delivery you don't remember authorizing. They tell you your card is under attack, and that if you follow their steps, they'll protect you. This scam unfolds in 3 phases. The first is the setup, and it starts long before the phone rings. Step 1 is phishing. Fraudsters send out hundreds of thousands, sometimes millions of text messages disguised as delivery alerts, COVID test notifications, or other urgent updates. A link leads you to a fake but convincing website. It could mimic a postal service, healthcare provider, or another legitimate institution you rely on day to day. You fill in your details to pay a tiny fee, a pound or two, a couple of dollars, without thinking much about it. At that moment, the scammers have your name, address, card number, expiry date, CVV, and often your phone number. Step 2 is number spoofing. Using cheap, widely available technology, scammers mask their outgoing calls so that your phone displays your real bank's number rather than their own. While the technology itself isn't illegal in many places, using it to impersonate a bank absolutely is. Caller ID can be manipulated to display almost any number, which is why you should never rely on it for verification. Step 3 is the fake freeze call itself. Hours or days after the phishing, you get the call. The scammers impersonate your bank's fraud department. They might reference that earlier phishing text to make the story fit. You're told your card has been compromised, and that urgent action is needed to secure it. They may direct you to a fake login page, urging you to check your devices or reset your password. Sometimes they simply ask for the SMS code sent to your phone. That's the second lock on your account, and once you give it up, they can waltz right in. To make it feel real, they may even put through a small test transaction during the call, reading it out to prove their legitimacy. Many victims, like Terry, end up thanking the fraudsters for protecting them. That's how convincing the script is. One caller even wished the scammer a good vacation. The final stage is the getaway. Once they have access to your account, the scammers move fast. But they don't just steal and hang up. They actively delay you from noticing or reporting. Victims are told to delete their banking app for security reasons, to wait for a new PIN through the post, to ignore suspicious notifications, or to expect a follow-up call in a few days. Every one of these steps buys them time to drain your funds and cover their tracks. The tools they use aren't sophisticated. Number spoofing services are cheap and widely available. Phishing kits are traded openly. The real power comes from timing, psychology, and how seamlessly these pieces fit together. That's why this scam spreads so fast. Most people trust what's on their phone screen. If a number matches the one on the back of your card, your brain takes a shortcut and assumes this is your bank. That assumption is exactly what scammers exploit. Caller ID feels like proof, even though it really isn't. Add the authoritative voice, the familiar hold music, and texts appearing in the same message thread, and the illusion is complete before you've even had time to question it. The psychology behind this is deliberate and surprisingly simple. When you hear that your money is at risk right now, your brain shifts into urgency mode. Rational checks take a back seat. You want to act, not think. Scammers know this and use calm, procedural tones to reinforce the idea that you're dealing with a trusted institution. You're focused on fixing a security issue, not interrogating whether the caller is real. That's why they never give you time to verify. They know hesitation and logical thinking kills the scam. Everything about the interaction is designed to mirror genuine banking protocols. The script, the terminology, even fake security checks that feel like legitimate procedures. They might reference your recent transactions or sprinkle in personal details they already have from phishing. Victims feel like they're doing the right thing because every step matches their mental model of how a fraud call should go. The scammer isn't fighting your instincts, they're aligning with them. Timing makes this even more effective. Many of these calls happen early in the morning, during work hours, or right before weekends. Moments when you're distracted, tired, or least likely to double check. At those times, people are juggling other things and hesitation is at its lowest. Scammers deliberately target these windows because your attention is divided. And it's cheap. Spoofing a number costs almost nothing. Phishing texts can be blasted out in seconds. One scammer can juggle multiple calls at once. With such low overhead and high psychological effectiveness, this scam scales frighteningly fast. There's no need for sophisticated hacking, just psychology and timing. The most dangerous part is that it doesn't rely on victims being naive or dumb. It relies on them simply being human, trusting familiar numbers, wanting to act fast to protect their money, believing structured voices and official language. That's why it works on students, professionals, retirees, anyone really, and that's why it's spreading faster than most people realize. Here's how to protect yourself in under 10 seconds. If you ever get a call claiming your debit card is frozen, hang up immediately. Don't argue, don't explain, just hang up. Then call your bank yourself using the number on the back of your card or from their official website. That single step alone blocks the entire scam. Protection starts before the call even happens. Most fake freeze scams rely on phishing messages to harvest your details in advance. Treat every unexpected text or email with a link as suspicious. Delivery updates, tax refunds, fraud alerts can all be faked. Instead of clicking, open the bank's app yourself or type the URL manually. Check for misspellings or unusual domains. These small details are often the only warning signs you'll get. Remember that caller ID cannot be trusted. Even if the number matches your bank's, that's not proof. Spoofing makes it easy to display any number. If something feels off, hang up and call your bank through a trusted source. Never share two-factor codes or one-time passcodes. No bank will ever ask for them by phone, text, or email. If a caller pressures you to read out a code, it's a scam. Never follow login links provided during a call either. Always use your official banking app or type the address manually. Watch out for delay tactics. Real banks don't tell you to delete apps, ignore alerts, or wait several days for a new PIN. Those instructions are designed to stop you from detecting theft, while scammers drain your account. If you're told to stay off the app or wait for follow-up instructions, end the call and verify with your bank directly. Setting up real-time transaction alerts gives you an early warning system. If scammers try to move your money, you'll see it within seconds. Some banks also allow temporary card locks or spending limits, which can slow criminals down if they gain access. If you realize mid-call that something's wrong, act quickly. Hang up, log into your banking app on a separate device, sign out of all sessions, and change your password. Call your bank's official fraud line to freeze your card. If you've already shared information, notify your bank immediately and file reports with the relevant authorities in your region. Keep thorough records too. Call times, phone numbers, screenshots of texts or fake sites. Investigators and banks rely on these details to trace fraud networks and speed up reimbursements. Finally, establish a personal response routine. Decide in advance what you'll do if you receive a suspicious call. Hang up, check your app, call the bank yourself. Teach this process to family members, especially older relatives who are frequent targets. These scams depend on surprise, pressure, and trust. Take those away and they collapse. Hang up, verify independently, never share codes, and use alerts to catch fraud early. A few clear habits are enough to stop even the most convincing scam. This fake bank freeze call scam has already drained accounts across continents. It's fast, psychological, and relentless. But once you know how it works, you hold the power to stop it in seconds. Hang up, verify through trusted numbers, never share codes, stay alert. Remember that the scammer's strongest weapon is your trust. Don't hand it over. And this isn't the only threat rising right now. In our next report, we're exposing a family emergency scam that's spreading even faster than this one and abuses trust even deeper. Stay informed, stay sharp, and if you found this warning useful, follow the scam report so you never miss the next one.